Who can say, I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die?
Johnny had a way of getting your attention right off the bat.
A guy that cuts songs about getting stoned on Sunday morning. He's just iconic.
This is Mull It Over, and today we're mulling over Johnny Cash.
I grew up about 5 minutes from Folsom Prison, and I mean, my aesthetic obviously has drawn a lot from Johnny Cash.
Not only is his music timeless and his voice is unique, but everyone knows who Johnny Cash is just by his silhouette. That's how you know you're an icon. I think that's actually a Johnny Cash quote, if they can recognize you from your shadow.
In a strange way, he's so relatable with country music, but if you look back on the start of it, they weren't country singers when they started. They were doing rock and roll, but nobody really knew what it was supposed to be called yet because they just invented it.
He was a pioneer of a sound. You know, you would lump him in the same conversations as Elvis.
Ring of Fire is one of my favorites. I love the melody on that.
Boy Named Sue is good. If I Were a Carpenter by Johnny and June.
Don't Take Your Guns to Town, Boy Named Sue, Folsom Prison, Rock Island Line, and Sunday Morning Coming Down.
I'll focus on The Caretaker because it's on my new record, because it's not a song that most people even realize it is a Johnny Cash song. A lot of people have never heard the song before.
I latched on to Johnny Cash way back when I was a young kid, and those songs still mean a lot to me today. They actually mean more because they take me back to where I heard it the first time.
I was a student at Belmont. I had been reading about the neurological disorder that he had been diagnosed with, and got to thinking one day, I'm like, man, if Johnny Cash dies and I don't get to meet him, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. And so I came up with this crazy plan of trying to find out where he lives and all this. And so I did, and fate would have it that his gate to his property was open. So I drove right on in, knocked on his door, and lo and behold, the person that answers the door is Johnny Cash. So I stood there and spoke with him for a few minutes. And then, when the conversation was over, he shut the door and I go walking back to my truck, and I just broke down crying, because had I never taken that chance, I never would have gotten to meet him, because that was the only opportunity I ever got.
My memory of John Cash was standing at one end of a hallway and seeing him down at the other, looking like his head touched the ceiling. And I just remember watching him walk, dressed all in black, and he was just epic. He looked bigger than a mountain. And then many years later, my Johnny Cash story turned into a stroke of luck when I was cast in the 20th Century Fox's production of Walk the Line, which brought us all so much closer into John's orbit. I owe a lot to John. In a way, he's kind of responsible for me getting my big start.